Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is me, Samantha, the Legal Beagle, and I am it. Man, it's a Sunday, and I'm sitting here drinking my wonderful donut shot coffee. I really enjoy it. I'm having a good time this morning. I finished my brief, but before I get started, I want to talk to you about a topic, but I want you to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button, and don't forget, I want to thank you guys for donating to my channel, making it happen, making it grow, subscribing. Without you, I'd just be one lonely little voice, okay? So today we're going to talk about a subject that I came across this week. I had a friend of mine, I'm not going to say the name, but I had a friend of mine who had contacted me about a divorce. Now, she wasn't asking me to do it. She was just talking to me about it. And she explained that, during the course of right before the marriage was ending, they had property and the husband sold it and he went ghost. And no, he didn't give her none. And what he did was he he basically just walked off the face of the earth. So she had a deadline because he was living in one state and she was living in another state that she was trying to hurry up and get a divorce so that she can tackle that. So she ended up hiring a lawyer, and instead of the lawyer just filing a divorce and letting it stuff play out, uh, the lawyer contacted him and told him what her client wanted to do. So she was upset about that, and she called me, and I'm just as puzzled because I was trying to find out why was the lawyer doing that when you know in the state that we're in it's totally different. So anyway, but I want to talk right now. People think so. She ended up getting filing the divorce and stuff. And the question here is now. I was talking to her about the emotion part of the divorce. And she was like, "Oh no, 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 he's not like that. No, you ain't gotta worry. He weak, he wouldn't do this, he's slick, he this, he that, he this. He wouldn't do that." Okay. Okay. Just throwing it out there. Okay. I'm gonna tell you ladies something, and I'm gonna tell you gentlemen something. Divorce is an emotional procedure. It's just like death, and it's just like getting married. When a person is either if they're filing for a divorce, they can file for a divorce and still have animosity. Or better yet, you can file for a divorce and they still have animosity. But it's an emotional thing. And I tell people, don't take it lightly. You take it seriously. When divorce is not about separating of the people, it's separating of the property. And most people are afraid of starting all over, especially when they're in their 40s and 50s and they have accomplished things, or they find somebody new in their life. They know they're going to have to give up something. It's not something that they're going to say, well, okay, well, I'm just leaving her alone. Like breaking up in a relationship, a dating relationship. See, in a dating relationship, you can just say, okay, I'm through, I'm tired, let me let it go. And it's the end of that. But a divorce is something different. I've seen people who, give a case. Well, back in here a long time ago, I drafted up this divorce for this guy. And we met, and so we can notarize the divorce papers so he can go ahead and file it. This woman had been living with a man for 9 years. And the man that was filing for divorce had been raising their children for 9 years. So he filed for a divorce. He wanted a divorce, and he didn't want to fight. He wanted to move to Atlanta and start his new life. Okay, so we sitting up at the table, and yes, this pink. We sitting up at the table, and all of a sudden, her boyfriend was there, and all of a sudden she says, "You know what? I don't want to get a divorce. I want to work it out." It's been 9 years. You got a man on the side right here that he's hearing it. He ain't said a word. Me, I would have got up and said, "Are you kidding?" No. She had to eventually she gave in, but the point is that look, I mean, people do weird things during a divorce proceeding. And people say, "Well, I got a lawyer. I have a lawyer. He handles that. Lawyers handle that." Lawyers handle things in the courtroom. They do not come to your house when somebody's beating you up, putting a gun to your head, doing all of that. Lawyers don't do that. And I'm even go further. Very few lawyers. See, you need to know the truth about it. Is going to get up in the middle of the night and go call the police, ask for a restraining order. Some of y'all can't get in touch with him. His hours are her hours are from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. So if you're getting your tail beat up on a Friday night, you're going to have to wait till Sunday night or Monday morning or whatever. Or if he got a call sheet, a call answering service to get in touch with him. So you need to be mentally prepared when you're doing a divorce. Till the whole scenario is over, don't trust nothing. Because that person is different. I don't care if y'all in a mutual understanding. Don't put that person that you know them. You don't know them. They're with somebody else. And normally when people are going through a divorce, you got the one party getting the ear and the other one getting the other ear. And you got to make that decision. So, back to the girl. I'm telling her, I'm saying, again, be careful. He did that for a reason. There's a motive why when people leave and they, they don't let you know where they at. It could be that you bet shit. Or it could mean that he don't want to do nothing or he's rejecting you. When you stop people, I'm going to tell you something. People don't like rejection, especially when it's on a piece of paper and it's being served by a process server or a sheriff. You don't. So until then, start taking some steps. If you was in an abusive relationship, I'm going to use with kids. If you was in an abusive relationship with somebody and y'all got kids involved and the court says, now keep in mind that the court just doing what they do. The court says, okay, well, you're in an abusive relationship. Y'all got to, he got to see the kids. He can pick the kids up at the house. I will go to the police station. I let the police station know, look, here I'm going through a divorce. It's bad. I don't trust him. Is it okay if I bring the kids up here? And don't meet them in the parking lot. Don't meet him in the parking lot. You meet that person inside the jail, inside the police station. Go in there and sit down. I just explain to the kids, look, mom and daddy, we're getting a divorce, and right now, mama, we got this word. You don't have to say, oh, that's so dramatic. No, it's not. We got this safe word. What's the safe word? Police. So, when they go there, they thinking that it's, especially if they minors, they think that it's a safe word. Oh, okay, mom and dad are playing a safe word. What is it? Police. But but you can't tell daddy that. You can't tell daddy. But if you get in trouble, if daddy is doing something that you're not feeling comfortable, when you see me again, you say police. They're at the police station. Then you can take it from there. That way you're safe. Until, because it's so many women being murdered because, they think that piece of paper, I'm just going to pull up a piece of paper right here. They think that this piece of paper, that order of protection, is going to help them. It's going to save them. I have an order of protection. Baby, that's just a piece of paper. And I'm going to tell you something. That piece of paper is only meant for what? If you come on the property, you can do what you got to do. Now, I'm not giving out, before I go any further, I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving you out anything, but we're talking about the emotions of a divorce, not the legal procedure. We're talking about the emotional part of the divorce. Because you got to remember now, both of y'all, one is in love, one is not. It may be you may be in love, he's not. Or better yet, you not in love and he is. Or she is. You have to be careful. Like I tell people, what, if you're going through a divorce, don't flaunt your other person around. Don't do that. Don't do that. Especially if you got a crazy woman. You got to remember that. You got to remember it's an emotional thing. Don't sit up here, she feel like or he feel like I given this person all, 5, 10, 4, 3 or whatever. I was dating him for 10. I married him for 2. And all of a sudden now he wants to get up and go be with somebody else. And I helped him. If it wasn't for me, he wouldn't have did. No. You got to remember, if they driving by your house, they calling you on your job, you can't pick up the kids because she's tripping. That's an emotional thing. It's beyond the co-parenting. It's beyond the y'all having a mutual thing. A divorce is not. It's beyond that. It's about safety now. It's about safety. So you got to think outside the box. Okay, you know what? Hey, till my divorce is final, I don't come over here. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Don't, you know what? I'm not, my woman is crazy. Until that divorce is final, you know what? We'll meet at a hotel. I don't want to put your life in jeopardy. I don't want to put your kids' life in jeopardy. I don't want to put my life in jeopardy. Because you got folks that will come to your house with a gun and a knife and go in the courtroom and while they having their trial, I went over there to talk to him. I went over there to see what he was doing. It's a case right now on Court TV about this woman, this man left his wife and he moved on with this woman and they was at the laundromat. The woman was following and she followed them to the apartment where they used to stay at and she got, it's a mess. It is a mess. But see, people don't, and I'm going to even go further. Black women think that they can fight everybody. I can't fight everybody. Even when I was younger, I couldn't fight everybody. I'm not that, no, I'm not finna fight. Back in the day, I probably would have fought a man, but I wouldn't have fought him fair. But, but now, shoot, no. If you want to go. My heart will be broken. My heart will be broken, but I can deal with it. I'll deal with it. I may see him on the street. I'll go home and cry, probably drink some coffee, probably, eat me a couple of bags of popcorn. But you know what? I'll get over it. I'll get over it. Even if he done me wrong, I'll get over it. That's the nature of the beast. Being in relationships and when the relationship ends. I don't want anybody to be hurt. I don't want anybody. But at the same time, you have to look at it. When it's something emotional, like I said, a divorce is not just a procedure. It's an emotional thing. It's emotional transition. Just like getting married is emotional transition. Having a baby is an emotional transition. But you got to realize something. It's not like I said, being in a relationship and you say, well, okay, well, I'm tired. I'm tired of this person. I'm tired of them. I'm going to let it go. No, when it comes to a point where, okay, not only do I have to split up with you, I got to split up with my 401k. I got to split up with the house that I built. I got to split up with the money. Somebody going to want something. It ain't going to be it may not be a 50-50 split. It may be a 60-40 split, 80-20 split, 90-10 split. And then there's children involved. Women, you make it worse when you sit here and you say, even if the divorce is final, I don't want him around. I don't want my kids around that other woman. Okay. But that's part of the life. You cannot sit there. Well, if the woman ain't beating on him, I'm going to be honest. If the woman ain't beating on him, she ain't doing nothing, hey, let him go over there. That's an extended family. He may marry her. What you going to do then? You can't hold his kids because the stuff he did to you don't have nothing to do with them kids. That's you and your feelings. I'm gonna be honest. When I wasn't married to this person, but when we broke up, we still went to PTA meetings. We still did this. I knew it was somebody in his life. And yeah, it did hurt me. It hurt me that my kids was going over there seeing him interact with this other woman. It did. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't quickly get into a relationship like that. I don't just boom boom. It takes me sometimes maybe a year or two before I start really feeling comfortable to get into a relationship. I just don't. Okay, 6 months. I think no, cause see, I gotta find me. I gotta get all that hurt out. I don't want to put the hurt that I have for him on somebody else. So I call myself romantic detox. I got to get him out of my system. I have to get and you can still love somebody, but you have to get that closure love out of my system. So anyway, it got to a point where they were getting serious and she had kids and she told my children that she didn't want them over there all the time. So that's why I called her. And I told him, I had a man. But you slept with him and you took him. And until I get in a peace of mind where I feel comfortable in a relationship, they going to come over there every weekend, may come over there every day. We all in the same bed until all of us die. It is what it is. And now, she I didn't call her house. Out of respect, I didn't call her house. I called his cell phone, but only time she knew I was calling the cell phone when it was related to the children, not us. Now, I can still call his cell phone, but I don't call him. Sometimes I do call him, and I may say, hey, because he's an engineer. Hey, my computer acting up. Can you help me? He'll give me a little, then that's it. But I know an IT person, so I don't have to do that anymore. But I call him. I wish him happy birthday, happy Father's Day, Merry Christmas, happy Thanksgiving. He do the same. He know my birthday. I know he is. But, that's, I had to get, because I'm going to be honest, I loved him. But I had to get to that point, a closure point in my life where, you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. And so what I'm trying to say is that you can make at the end, you can make the divorce. You can make the divorce. If you dealing with somebody that's abusive and been abusive, you can't rationalize that. You're going to have to take other steps to protect you and your children. If you got some woman coming to your house and she's been crazy, don't invite another person there. But if the woman I'm going to tell you something, and women who are seeing married men, and I'm just going to keep it real. I ain't got much time, but women who are seeing married men, knowing that they still married, they don't have that paper, I'm going to be honest. You shouldn't be clowning about nothing. That is not your man. That's her man. That's her man. And if she come over your house and tell him to get his tail, his hind parts, or his ass out of your house, that's when you have respect for your house and tell him, look here, you bringing drama in my neighborhood. You take your butt back home and you fix that situation. Then when you fix it, you come back to me. See, that's how respect it is. Because I'm going to tell you something. Most men who cheat with another woman on their wife, half of them don't even marry. They marry somebody else. They don't marry you. They marry somebody else. You was just something to get that situation out of the way. He didn't want to be at home. He didn't want to be this. He didn't want to be that. And I'm gonna tell you something. Women who sleep around on their husband, I guarantee you that man that you cheating with ain't gonna marry you. Because you know why? He saw what you was doing with your husband, and he said, shit, if she do that to him, I know she'll do that to me. There ain't no trust there. Ain't no trust. So you're gonna have to decide. You gonna have to decide how your divorce go. It can be ugly on paper, but it doesn't have to be ugly in physical life. That's because if you take precaution and start rationalizing, I don't underestimate when, if me and the man, we just, You know what? I said if I do get married, and I'm going to be honest, I've been married. The only thing I want is my peace of mind. Shit, fuck it. Let him have his house. He can have a house. He can have the fucking money. He can have whatever he want to do. My peace of mind is too important. You know what? If he give it to me, that's fine. I know law. I know my rights being in the state I'm in. And some people, I'm going to tell you something. Some people, before they give you their money, they'll put you in a bag. Nah, Do I think? No. Nah. But you know what? I'm not going to take that chance. I'm not going to take that chance. I can fight him in another state. I can fight him in another country. I can fight him in somewhere else. I ain't going to fight him in the same city. Especially if I know he's psychotic. Shit, I'll leave. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. My advice, if you can make your marriage work, make it work. Because sometimes you may divorce somebody on some petty stuff, and then you turn around and you meet somebody and you marry him, and it's the devil himself. And you wondering. I've had family people that have done that, married different people because they couldn't, they over petty arguments, and then found out that that person they left for was better than what they got now, but they can't go back. They can't go back now. So yeah. Well, I hope I'm gonna finish my coffee. I hope that this video helped you. I hope it make you grow. I hope you donate to my channel. I want to thank those this week that subscribe to my channel. Hey, I got a podcast. I'm still trying to figure out how to put but you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, if you have any questions and stuff, email me. My email is at the link. It's samantharajapakse at mail.com. And thank you guys, and I hope you have a safe weekend, a safe weekday, and hey, a safe August.